Well, good afternoon. Today I want to take a few minutes and talk to you about the 5 topics of invention. These are tools that you can use to generate inventory and come up with ideas for persuasion, for essays. But what I want you to see most of all is that this is something that you already do. So I want to show you how you already do it and then connect it to these different ideas. And if you remember last week, we generated an issue, and our issue was considering, should I get a cat? And so I asked you to think of what are the questions that you would ask yourself before you made a decision like that. And here's what you came up with. Would the cat live inside or outside? Is it hairless? Will my mom let me? What color is the cat? Will I love the cat forever or will I neglect it? Is it a nice cat? Who will change the litter? Is it cute? Will it eat our chickens? Where can I buy it? How much does food cost? Can I afford the cat? What effect will the cat have on our house? Which, if I remember right, had to do with damaging the house. And what effect might the cat have on me? Which, if I remember right, had to do with allergies. Okay? So, those are the questions you came up with. They're smart questions and helpful questions. This over here, these are called the 5 topics of invention. There's way more than 5, but we're just going to learn. These are like the most important, strategic, helpful ones, okay? The first one is comparison. So this is the graphic that I use to understand comparison. And the question that I ask is, how is X similar to Y? How is it different? We use comparison all the time. So if you look over here, this is your best application of that. Because honestly, if you were trying to convince your mom, and you showed her, and she's like, no, you can't get a cat. And then you said, well, what if it lived outside? And you showed her the difference between an inside cat and an outside cat. That could be super persuasive, right? So then the next one is definition. Who or what is X, and what kind of thing is X? So this has to do with sort of what are the parts that make up the cat, the parts that make up the whole, and what kind of thing it is. So we already know it's a cat, right? But you ask, is it a hairless cat? What color of a cat is it? Is it a nice cat? Is it a cute cat? You're trying to define cat and figure out if it's something that you would like to have or not. So if it was an ugly, mean, hairless cat, you might not be as interested. Then that might help you make your decision, right? So definition is a big part of it. The next one is called circumstance. And circumstances, these are the easy go-tos. They're effective, they're helpful. We do them without thinking. But you actually do circumstance too, even though it's a little more complicated. And so here's what's going on. Should I get a cat? And then here's what's going on around the circumstance. What is happening in the same time and place, and what is happening in the same time, but different places. So, here's a circumstance that should definitely be taken into consideration when you're deciding to get a cat. Will the cat eat our chickens? Now this is a unique circumstance. It doesn't apply to me because I don't have any chickens, right? But if it will eat our chickens, I need to take it into account. Or will the chickens eat it, right? What would be another circumstance that I should take into account? If other people live in the house, like let's say you have a sibling and they have allergies, that would be considered a circumstance too. Okay, the next topic is called relation. And relation has to do with before and after. And is that before and after cause and effect or just before and after? So what led up to the situation of this choice and what might follow after it? Okay, so a cause in this case really might be the cat is so cute and it's just causing me to feel like I have to have it. But another cause would be what effect it might have on the house, what effect it might have on me. If it's just going to make you sniffle a little bit and you can take some medicine, that effect is not huge. If it's going to send you into anaphylactic shock or maybe someone else you love, that might be a deal breaker, right? The effect that it has on the house, is the effect just going to be some cat hair that I have to vacuum up, or is the effect going to be destroyed furniture, destroyed house, right? So the effect that it's going to have. And there's not a huge amount causes here other than it being cute and nice and you wanting to have it. But there could be. And then the final topic that you automatically do without thinking very much about when you're trying to make a decision is you think, well, what will the witnesses say? What will the experts say? And in this case, you all very wisely ask yourself the question, will my mom let me get the cat? Because if she won't, it's not like you can hide a cat for very long, and that probably won't work out, right? So what I want you to see is that you naturally, without even thinking, already use these 5 topics. So good for you. The next thing I want you to see is that you can use them even more to come up with even more stuff. So let's do it. It'll be fun. The first thing we could do to generate an inventory is compare. So you could compare the cat to a snake. You could compare the cat to a dog. You could compare the cat to a horse. Mom, it's a much better pet than a snake, right? And it's smaller and less expensive than a horse. So if you were to compare it to these other things, whatever. If you can compare it to a snake and a horse, it might really build your case up. If you compared it to a dog, it really depends on the person that you're talking to, right? But I came up with more things to put in my essay or in my speech to my mom to persuade her. Another thing you could appeal to is definition. Who or what is X? What kind of thing is X? Well, Mom, it's not going to be an ugly hairless cat. Or it is if I have allergies, right? We're going to say that it's going to be a baby cat. I just want a little kitten. What kind of thing is X? I don't want just any kitten. I want a little kitten that has no other home. It's about to be put to sleep, right? Actually, that comes under circumstance. So this is a baby kitten. I'm going to save it from euthanasia, from being euthanized. It's a baby kitten. It's better than a snake and it's better than a horse. Another circumstance that's going on in the same time but different place, you could ask yourself, well, what else is going on? An example might be that the lady down the street just had a litter and she's your friend and she's trying to get rid of these cats. A big circumstance lately is the storm Irma. And so there's all these cats wandering the streets that need homes, that are orphans. That might be something that's happening. So then you could go to relation. Well, what led up to the situation of this choice? Gosh, Mom, I've had a really hard summer. My sister just moved off to college and left me all alone. And so I feel very lonely. And the effect of this cat would be to comfort me in my loneliness, right? So I could say I'm lonely. My sister just moved out. And you could say we could get the cat declawed and it wouldn't ruin the house, right? So by anticipating a potential effect of a cat, you might be able to come up with some things to help persuade. And then finally you have testimony. And I know you all went right to your parents, and rightly so. Will they let you get a cat or not? But you could ask yourself, well, what do the witnesses and experts say? Ask your friends, how's the cat thing gone for them? And you might find, like I have one friend who got a cat, and it didn't go very well. They're allergic to the cat scratched someone and hurt them. It's a pain in the neck to take care of them. They found they didn't love the cat as much as they thought they did. It was kind of a hassle for them. And everyone was always upset about the cat. And so I might take that kind of testimony into account. The cat causes trouble. Oh, we got a dog once and it didn't love us. That would be testimony that you got from someone. A dog didn't love the Pierces. He could not bond with us. Or a person might say, this cat is the best thing that ever happened to me. My cousin has a cat, the neighbor has a cat, something like that. And you would find out what they said about it, and then you could add that to your chart. So the 5 topics, you can just do it on your own and be like, oh, aha, there's a coincidence here. But if you want to dig a little deeper, you can go to the 5 topics and come up with even more information. So you can make them really serve you to build a great inventory to write a good essay. I'm going to turn off the camera and then we're going to turn it back on. I'm going to show you the next step. Okay?